What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Jinx and Nothing Wrong. And if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, yo buffoon. If you're returning, hey, you already know what it is. What's up, baby? Jinx welcomes you. Not me, but Jinx, you know. She's here with me. Say hi, Jinx. Oh, she's shy. Anyway, Deadly Harpoon and Jayce's Hextech battery are coming into the game today. So, of course, by the time it comes out, maybe I'll be recording another video, or I don't know, cutting my or eating my toes. I don't know what I'll be doing, but I wanted to evaluate whether or not these things are actually good for your account, right? Because they're gonna likely cost $10 each, like every other time they cost $10, and it's really been a toss-up whether or not we should do. We've evaluated like even the Yasuo one. It's like, not really that good, even though it's currently in the shop, right? Yasuo's thing is in the shop. Go to store. It should still, wait, is it? Oh wait, I was supposed to buy that before it went away. Oh no, I was supposed to buy it before it went away. Oh, whatever, it's fine. Anyway, so we have the Deadly Harpoon and Jayce's Hextech battery. I'm gonna go with the Deadly Harpoon, and we're gonna go over characters that I personally think will be able to use it besides Pyke, right? When we evaluated the Ravenstorm, right, it became one of the cooler things. You were able to do a bunch of turn one with the plunder, stuff like that. Characters that were able to utilize it, making it one of the more decent ones. It wasn't really tied to Swain. Swain had a nice little extra effect, but pretty much people used it as a plunder initiator, right? So that was pretty cool, especially without having to use the other one. The only difference is that it causes plunder only on that first turn. Deadly Harpoon +2/+0 and Challenger, so you get 2 attack and then you get Challenger as well, so you get a free keyword, which I think is awesome, right? And then you have Game Start, shuffle 2 deaths from below into the deck and grant your deaths from below a random epic item. What I do like about it, well, let's talk about the positive. Like, the only negative I say is that it does do it on Game Start, not Adventure Start. Adventure Start would be a little bit better, because then when you go into shops, you can go buy an item, like if we're saying specifically like a Lysandra run, you would be able to then put items on death from below, right? But since it's Game Start, it's only going to be when you actually start a singular match, so it's a little bit harder to add more items to the death from below. So that's cool, but what do we get with death from below? So let's go over to Pyke really quickly, just to show that what it actually does. I just want to have that in the video just so you guys are fully aware before we go in it. And it's lurk, fast speed, summon Pyke striking an enemy. So the only issue that I have is it's a 5 cost, and in other decks it's just going to be little old Pyke, a 1/3 coming out. What I want to point out is the fact that there's ways to boost up Pyke, right? Like, there's ways to boost up characters in the deck, and so when you use the spell, it's fine. But there are also ways that when you have used the spell and then now you do have another champion on the field, right? And then we could boost them up that way. So that's the kind of the angle that I'm coming from. So let's get into my specific picks that might make it worth getting Pyke's new relic. The first one I'm going to think is Viego, right? Viego has the ability, if we go to his constellation, only when you are summoning like all the way down here, right? I do want to mention it because there are a bunch of people I think that invested heavily into Viego, so I think that, hey, why not mention it? Is when you summon an encroaching miss, grant allies everywhere +1, and that's pretty much it. It allows you to, in my personal opinion, it allows you to ramp up a Pyke that's in the deck. So if you do have Viego 6-star, this is another option for you to have just a little bit more fun. Not the craziest one, but I do want to mention it. That is a combo that you could do. Next one is one of the ones I was kind of saying is Nami. Nami has the ability to basically, not like really this, well, actually it's a twofold, right? So when you play a spell, gain a spell mana, right? But if it's your 4th spell that's round, you copy it with the same targets. What that would mean is that if somehow, some way, since you are getting mana back, there's a possibility that you can have that the death from below be your 4th spell, and then boom, you would get 2 Pykes on the field. And that's just kind of cool, right? I think that's a little funny thing. And as we know, Nami herself, as she's leveled, right, she will be giving the weakest ally, which is irrelevant. You know, if you spam enough, you keep getting the weakest ally +1, and then when she's leveled, she'll give that weakest ally +2/+1, and herself would have +2 attack and Challenger, making it a little bit easier. She could pick off weaker enemies. Meanwhile, Pyke is able to just clean up the board because you keep buffing him through that. So I think that's just a really unique one. I think that that's decent, right? I think that that's a pretty decent combo. Next up is going to be Garen, right? Garen, when an ally strikes, you can grant it +1/+1 or up to +2/+2, and then boom, it gets stronger. But the really cool thing that I like is the single combat, right? So he's gonna come out, at least when you have him 3-star. Pike's gonna come out, attack something, it doesn't really matter, and he's going to then get +2/+2, right? And then every favorable trade that you feel like taking, you can then single combat into Pike. And then if Pike levels, as you guys know, when Pike levels, he then goes into murder mode and then starts hitting every single thing. And those strikes would then give him +2/+2s. So I think in a Garen's deck, you can also utilize it as a really fun extra thing just to have some sweeping going on. Because yeah, if you guys, I don't think I mentioned that too. I should have mentioned it that Pike, when he's level here, when I kill an enemy, I strike the weakest enemy, and it can keep chaining over and over and over and over again. So yeah, it's pretty nuts. So I think Garen is one of those ones that is pretty sick, pretty sick. ASOL in the place to be. Now I mentioned ASOL. I at first thought that when you summon a champion at levels, actually it's only when you play. But since I already made the mistake, I figured I might as well try to fix it. It does allow you to graciously bestow a rare or epic item upon all your created cards, so it will get another item on top of that. So in an ASOL deck, it's not only going to get the epic item from its own relic, and then in ASOL run it will get a little bit more spicier, but the Pike that comes out will not level as far as I'm reading it, right? So that is a little weird. But hey, you know, it's just, I figured I'd mention it because I made a mistake. So Echo is more like, it's a little bit weird. There's going to be one is that a created card, which it is, it's going to cost 1 less. So it's actually going to be 4 costs, right? And I just think that since he is the prediction champion in the game, or in POC I should say, is you'll be able to predict the thing, put it on top of the deck, if especially, and you could also multiply it with the cards in his deck. His starting deck has a lot of ways to multiply that card specifically, which is going to be the Practical Professionist. And you see a copy of a card, you get 3 of it, and then we can slowly but surely make a bunch of Pikes. That's kind of really it. Like, I do think that there's ways to not only copy it in the deck and then it will draw, which is not what you want. You kind of, oh no, you don't want it to lurk. I'm a buffoon. You don't care if it lurks. It's already the lurk form of the card, right? So we can get it on top. We can give it some items, and then when Pike comes out, there's not much of that that's kind of crazy. Like, it's just interesting that you can consistently get it more often, I guess. That's my main point of it, really. It's not that, it's honestly not that deep. But let me check his constellation to see if there's any more. No, everything is about a unit. And unfortunately, the card is just a spell. You have sorcery too? Damn, why? They gave everyone so... The 2 P&Z people have sorcery except Jayce, which makes the most sense to have sorcery. But I know why they did it, but it's still silly to me. You thought I was done. I'm not done. Where is he? Bring back the Lee Shinga Dick Swinger. I'm sorry. All right, so Lee Sin has a very unique thing here, right? And it's going to be when you play your second spell in a round, give your strongest ally +4/+4, and then it doubles here to +8/+8, which is really strong. The reason why is that I would say the first spell you can have could be the Desmond Below, and then round start you're always gonna have a fleeting Twin Disciplines. It's a little bit of mana that you have to save up, but even still, once you, my thing that I'm trying to say is that you're gonna put all your buffs on the Pike, right? Boosting him really quickly to plus whatever the heck, and then he'll probably level, and then he'll start clearing out the field for you in Lee Sin's absence, right? So it's basically investing onto the Pike, making him the strongest, so he gets this buff, and he's gonna have a ton of stuff. You just use the Twin Disciplines on him. +3 attack is a lot. It's gonna definitely help him scale up. So yeah, just think that would be pretty interesting in a Lee Sin deck, and plus there's not much people use Lee Sin for anyway, so why not bless the boy? Speaking of Ionian legends, we're also gonna go to Master so we have round star flow. Hey, we give +1/+1. That's pretty easy. Also, it's same deal, right? We have the Twin Disciplines coming, but it's much easier to Twin Disciplines here, right? The crazy part about the Twin Discipline thing here is that when you play a fleeting or non-fleeting spell or a skill, you're gonna create this fleeting Twin Disciplines. That's why they have to specify that. So it's very easy to pump up the Pike really high, especially if you have a decent amount of mana. And this is another one of the strategies of playing the spell just to have the Pike on the field and then buffing the Pike, because now you have an additional champion that's basically what I'm trying to say. It's very, very, very strong to get that Pike. He'll probably level, he'll start clearing out the board for you, and it starts, and he'll get some stats because you're going to activate flow like nobody's business. Next up, we have Gwen. I like to mention Gwen because of all the hollow stacks, right? And then, as you guys know, we're going to get the ghastly bands every turn, and when your leftmost attacker gains power from hollowed, so does your attacker to the right. Pretty much that it's hollowed stacks. We're gonna have a ton of hollowed stacks. We can even get the overwhelm here later on, and whether he's the furthest to the left or he's the one right next to the left, he's basically gonna get that attack boost, and he's gonna be able to level from it. It's obviously pretty good. So far we have a lot of different stuff for Pike, right? Like a lot of different stuff for Pike. I think it's awesome just by going off the. And I'm trying to keep it mainly to the 3 stars. That's why I mentioned the 1 6-star one once, because yeah, not that many people are gonna have access to that. But it is something to note that that's a really cool way of playing the card, and then boom, it's already strong, it's already out there. Last but not least, my boy Varus and the Gifts of Corruptions. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys already know this is one of my favorite I keep clicking all the wrong buttons, it's crazy. This is one of my favorite things to do. A GOC run is the best. What is GOC? Oh, I'll happily tell you, buddy cakes. It's the Gift of Corruption. Reduce the cost of a spell in your deck by 1, then create a fleeting copy of it in the hand. So pretty much, this is probably the coolest one, and one of the ones that I definitely would try out, is that it's gonna make a Pike card. It's gonna take the Pike card in my deck and then put it in my copy of it in my hand that costs 1 less, and I could then keep summoning a ton of Pike. I could actually just remove any other spell that's in my deck. There's only 2 that start off, and I've done this so many times, but it's one of the things I don't mind explaining a jillion times, right? There's only 2 spells in Varus's deck, and that's going to be the Furious Wielder and the Momentous Choice. So you then add a 3rd spell into it, which will, go back and forth, and usually you take the Furious Wielder out first if you're not doing anything with Varus, or you don't have other equipments, and then eventually when you feel like it's safe to walk outside, you can remove the Farsight alteration. You can remove the Momentous Choice, and then boom, the only spell in the deck would actually then end up being the Pike spell, and you'll keep getting it. It'll keep getting cheaper. Your Pikes will just be out there. The only problem with that is that you kind of need a way to make them stronger. So you have your gem generation, I guess you do that, or you can just keep the Momentous Choice and the thing, and then maybe you Momentous Choice, because it's still gonna duplicate on it. You still need something to duplicate on it. And you could also find another spell maybe in the run, or a unit that creates a good spell, whatever have you. But it just would be hilarious to have this army of army of Pikes constantly coming out every turn. So I just think it would be really funny. So that is it for my Pike picks. If you guys have any different picks for the Pike relics, you guys be surprising me sometimes, but just keep in mind that it's a summon. The card gets summoned. So something like Darius, the chains that they did on Darius would have been cool, right? It would have came out, got a nice little attack buff, and then that would have been cool. I don't know, would Kaiser even? No, Kaiser really wouldn't work because he'll never get the thing ever, right? But yeah, there's a couple cool things that I thought about. I feel like there's another everywhere buff that I can't figure, I don't remember or something like that. I guess even Evelyn. Technically, did I write Evelyn? No, I forgot to write Evelyn. I think I know why I forgot to write Evelyn. But yes, Evelyn would be also pretty good because she has an everywhere buff, right? So when she, grant allies everywhere +2/+2. So technically in an Evelyn deck, the Pike would also do good. We could try out Evelyn. Let me write that down. I forgot to write that. Evelyn's actually pretty good here. So I know why I didn't write it down, because I'm going to explain that in a second. So that's for the Deadly Harpoon. I like it. Let me know if you have any other additional picks that I might have missed out. Now let's go over to Jayce. Jayce Poo. Oh my god, I clicked out of it. So Jayce, Hextech battery, right? When I level up, refill 3 mana if I'm Jayce, or refill 6. So I'm obviously we're not going to be Jayce because I'm not talking about using it on Jayce. We're going to think about who are characters that would benefit from leveling up and then getting 3 mana when they level up. Also, we get +1, +2 as well. I'll make another note at the end of the video too. So let's go with this, and I'm just gonna start off with Evelyn. So the cool thing about I'll go back to it for a second. It's mana, right? It's not spell mana. It is regular mana. So if you can level up your character without spell mana or anything like that, you're gonna get that mana back. So Evelyn obviously can level up multiple times, right? So that's a kind of a cool thing. That one of the issues that I've always had with Evelynn is that it's like you're basically using all your mana at all times just to kind of play out your turn. It's cool to have a mana deposit kind of feel to her, to just get some mana back, right? I think that's pretty cool. Same thing. Oh my god, you have no idea. I've edited that out so many times. Same thing with our homegirl. Let's just get her out of the way. Where is she? Nidalee, same thing. Had you level up multiple times, and her, I think it would probably be the best one, right? Because you're basically able to immediately level up, right? You level up, transform a bunch of stuff. She levels. I would get mana back, allowing me to do even more easier plays. And that's the biggest issue I think with Nidalee. It's one of the main reasons why they're always running a green on her, which is diabolical, right? They should have it that you'll never want to just run a green, right? But refilling your spell mana on play, it's cool and all, but if I have something that if I just do my level up, I'm gonna get mana back anyway, I think that's a little bit better. And like I said, it's not even spell mana, it's regular mana. So as you can use the spell for either or, so it's really, really crucial. I think it's amazing on Nidalee. Definitely going to be one of the top picks. Next up is going to be a nice little pick that I personally like, the Poro King. I like the Poro King just because it's like when he levels, he pretty much puts a snack in the hand. Special snacks. It's not the craziest thing in the world because I do think that like spell manipulation and stuff like that, there's probably better builds for him. I want to turn one Poro King so bad because I think it just makes sense. He comes out and then it makes it easier, and then when he levels, it would be really, really good. But I just thought I'd mention it. It's not like too much. There's a pretty bland overarching thing. Like it's just a nice thing to have. I think most characters can use it. Like Aatrox, for example, you level, you pay some of that mana, get some of the mana back. It works on a lot of champions. I'm just putting out champions that I think would kind of like that spend resources in order to level, I guess. And they might need that a couple mana back, even if it's just that one time. That's kind of what the thing that I'm going with. So next up, I wanted to point out was Nami, right? Nami has a lot of little mana. As she's spamming spells, then she can get the mana back, and then she can spam a little bit more spells, or if it depends on where she's at in her level up. But I think it's still pretty good to get the mana back and then help you out with additional plays. I hope you guys understand that. And then the last person I have written down here is going to be Eljano. Where are you, lady girl? There she is. Janna, same thing. She's playing a bunch of cards for reduced cost, so I feel like they're reduced, but sometimes she runs out of mana too. So it would be nice to have it that when you are playing all those reduced cards and then all of a sudden you need a little bit more mana to kind of finish out doing more of your plays, even though sometimes you'll be playing cards for like 0 mana and things like that. I just figured I'd mention her along the lines. Yeah, I focus more on Pike spell because I think his is a little bit more unique. His is, like I said, way more flexible. But some of these cards, some of these units like level up. Like I can even think Jinx gets some spell mana back would be nice. There's a bunch of characters that I think would be nice doing it, even Swain, but we also got to think about taking up a slot. And I also wanted to briefly mention this near the end of the video about both of them. I'm clicking on the wrong things, right? So this thing +1/+2, and then this one gives you +2. So I do wanted to mention, hopefully you guys can do math. I'm just saying, right? So there's going to be a bunch of different units that are going to be now able to access. Actually, not that they now able to access. I shouldn't say that. And this is what I wanted to specify, is that the Starforged Gauntlets, right? So when you think about Starforged Gauntlets, you're thinking like, how easy can I get something to 8 attack or 8 defense? Aatrox is like literally the best example here. So let's just say that this is the Found Fortune is the what is the name of it? The Pike Relic, right? So +2, boom, now he's at 7. I could then go Death's Foil here, and then boom, I have a Death's Foil plus this other thing. The thing about the other one is that what is it? It's called Claude's. I need to find it. Well, I'll start with the Luminous Aura. Luminous Aura just gives you the ability to block elusives, right? And it gives you 3. It's like one of the easiest ways to do that. You just do this, and boom, he would have been Titanic. And then I don't even need this slot here, right? Boom, this is Titanic if you have 5 defense, right? Very easy to hit it right there. So yeah, there's the Jerome's Fist is +1/+2, which is actually the same stats of the Jayce relic, right? And then there's Claude's Hammer, I think it is called. Yeah, Clawfield's Warhammer, which is +2/+1, which is very similar. Actually, it has 1 extra defense comparison, but they don't do anything. that's my main issue with them, right? They do provide the same stats, but they don't do anything. So like giving yourself challenger is a little bit better, plus trying to hit the Starforged Gauntlet's threshold, and like pretty much, what is it? So plus it was so 4. So something as low, with as low as, just to say, I use my girl Jinx as an example. Jinx, I could do it on her, right? So it would give her challenger, it would give her, I can go challenger, death foil, like I said, challenger, death foil, so she doesn't die when she's attacking. Not really that useful, that aspect of it, but it's just something that I want to say. So for attack or defense, you could do it. Or if you wanted to, you could use the Jayce battery one, right? You could use it, let's say, again, Found Fortune is now our Jayce battery, right? You could use the Jayce battery one, still use Starforged Gauntlets. Like, this is 3, right? And since the defense one is the one that we can get up the highest because of Luminous Orb, now you can actually do 3, right? So this is 3, this would be, wait, why is this, this is supposed to be Found Fortune 2, and then, what is that, 3, 6, and then 2, and then boom, now we're 8. So with the power at B, you can now even do 8. Or if the character is very defensive, but just has low defense for some reason, Kench I think is 6, so it's even easier to do it with Kench if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Kench is 6, very easy. So Kench really good, right? I think Kench, I should have probably mentioned him for my Jayce battery. I'm sorry. So Jayce battery is really good because he levels and he gets mana back, and then with you could even Starforged Gauntlet him. I'm still learning it as I think of it, right? So boom, Found Fortune is our thing. I even went like, you can go Strength to Stone. Doesn't really work that well on him, but yeah, you can do that. And then yeah, right? That's pretty cool, I think. And this would be our Jayce battery here. Oh, I don't have the slots. Okay, so I was trying to do that Jayce battery there, and boom, we're gonna get an extra mana for the turn, and I still have a 3rd slot to run whatever the hell I feel like it, which is pretty cool. Like, think of the implications of here, my boy Gnar. So 3 defense. Now with 3 defense, we can like get up to it with boom, Sharp Sight, the Jayce battery, and then the Starforged Gauntlet. So it kind of opens up a little bit. And again, you could have always done that. It's just that, like, it's just the other option was like Shapestone or another thing that just didn't give you any type of like extra benefits to it. So just thought I'd mention that. Hopefully you guys find this video awesome. If there's anything that I missed or a character that you think that is like, bro, this thing is busted with Jayce's battery. I didn't really go too much into Jayce's battery because I feel like it's kind of like the Lux Baton. It's like one of those ones that's it's just a really overall good. Jayce obviously is going to get the most bang for his buck, but you know, some of these characters could utilize it because they level in a way that it would, you would use it, like maybe Kindred or something like that, but it's just like, you really wasting a slot on Kindred. Actually, Kindred's one of these ones, right? Yeah, 4 attack. So boom, you can use 4 attack, use it to level her up a little bit quicker, get that extra mana gen. Just wanted to mention Starforged Gauntlets as well, just as a thing. When you see any of the relics that come in there with stats, I think Starforged Gauntlets should be your immediate threshold. Oh, can I use this now on this? Because like I said, just giving her Luminous Orb made virtually no sense. It's just like, I guess she can block elusives. I guess that's a cool thing. But now with Jayce battery, I would say, okay, do this and then maybe something else, and maybe we hit that Starforged Gauntlets more comfortably, depending on the character. I'm thinking about LeBlanc. I'm thinking about Talia, and I'm like, I don't really want that on her either. But yeah, you know, the Challenger one would make sense, but that's 3 attack. So if they ever make something with 3 attack, that will open up the bar even better. Like, it'd be even way more insane if that was the case. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I am out, and then of course I think I'm just gonna, I have 100 fragments. I could invest into Jayce. It feels really bad because I think he's going to be ass, and I really don't want to invest into Jayce and throw my 100 fragments away when I can I don't actually think I need 100, because I think when you purchase this bundle, it will give me something. I still want to keep my options open for Vex and other characters. Oh man, this is so rough. You guys let me know what I should do. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.